I can't wait till the NX is revealed. I get the strongest feeling it's going to bomb so fucking hard. It's going to be the next No Man's Sky. It's going to be the next Watch Dogs. Actually, like... Before we begin, I want to give Mr. Yakuza a quick shout out because the video you put out yesterday was hilarious. I couldn't stop laughing about it, and good job, Mr. Yakuza. I'll get you one day. I'll get you one day. But if you haven't checked out his channel, I'll leave a link in the description for you to check it out. Check him out. Like I said, his content is really freaking good. I'll be honest, I'm eating my words right now. After seeing the reveal for the NX or the Nintendo Switch, I'm really impressed, but there are a few things that have me a bit concerned with the NX. I'm sorry, if you hear me say the word NX or Switch, I'm going to use those words interchangeably. Just keep in mind that I'm talking about the same thing. In terms of what I've seen or what I'm seeing, there are a few things that bother me / worry me about it. And no, it's not, oh, well, will the titles be good or whatnot? That is part of it, but not the whole thing. I do have to thank Rich from Review Tech USA about talking about this because I wasn't aware of this personally. But basically what he was talking about is the fact that they showed Skyrim and they showed, if I'm correct, NBA 2K17. I don't play sports games on console or whatever. So if I don't remember the exact title that it may be, sue me, whatever. But the fact that they showed those, but then when there was an interview that took place with the publishers or the developers of those games, they said that they weren't going to confirm any games that were coming to the system, but they showed that, which means that that was either just a, for lack of better wording, a placeholder to just show off what kind of games can be played on the NX or what will be shown on the NX. Now, the reason why this bothers me a lot is the fact that if they showed something like that during the trailer and are not willing to put that on the system, or it may take quite a while before it comes up for the system, that can potentially lose a lot of people's interest, because a lot of people who would end up getting this might want specifically Skyrim, might want specifically that NBA game or whatever. Like, personally, I tend to do that. I'll buy a system for only one game. I've done it with the DS, which I've bought. I have to admit, I've bought it at least 3 or 4 times just for Pokemon, and then I trade the whole damn thing back in. And then I recently bought one again for Gunvolt. But yeah, there are people who tend to buy certain consoles just for one game, or because they saw one game was going to be on it. But if you show that it's going to be, that it's in the trailer, but it's not actually coming out or confirmed, that's going to send mixed messages. And in all honesty, it's going to lead to them honestly second guessing whether they should buy the system or not. My next concern is the fact that despite this reveal trailer being 3 minutes or whatever, it didn't really give a lot of information. They just pretty much flaunted the fact that the controllers come on and off and the console has a lot of utility. But something that I was still curious about was, does it have a touch screen? What's the battery life on the console? How is it actually improved when it's docked and so forth? A lot of these behind the scenes things weren't really shown, and they were just showing all the different things you can do with it. Now, granted, I have to admit, what really impressed me was the versatility / utility of this thing. But even then, is it really just you dock it and you can start playing, or you undock it and you could just take it on the go? Is there something that you have to unhook? Like, for example, a feature that many of us don't use when it comes to like USBs. Usually you have to actually go and click eject, and then when it says it's safe to unhook, then you can take out the USB. Is it something similar to that? Or do you need certain, like a Wi-Fi connection, or do you need something of that sort to play around with it? Once again, this is something that I feel like the trailer should have dived a little bit further into, showing the actual process of how things work on it. And yes, I understand this is a prototype, or this is just a demonstration of what the NX really is. And that's cool. But once again, I just do think that they need to explain how it really works, because once again, people might want to get the system because of what they saw, but then when they actually get it, there's a whole process behind it in order to be able to dock and undock it or whatever. And that might turn people off. Even when it came to what type of cartridges it uses, they weren't really too clear on that. It was just a very brief second of just them showing that the person put in a cartridge, but they didn't show if it takes DS cartridges. They didn't really show any of the ports on the thing. Like I said, there's just a lot of information missing from this that I kind of wanted to see myself. Like, does it have internal storage? Does it have external storage? Does it use special memory cards like the PS Vita did? The list goes on and on here. I could go on forever about it, but you get the gist at this point. But this does lead to another thing. If it does use special memory cards like the way the PS Vita did, will this be a problem? One of the main reasons why the PS Vita failed compared to the PSP was the fact that when the PSP was out, you could just buy memory cards that the digital cameras used and put it in there and they would work. And Sony made the PS Vita, they decided to make their own memory cards, and it severely limited the variety of memory cards you could buy in terms of quality or pricing. It was just a set price and it was just that. And there was only 3 types, so you couldn't really expand past what they gave you. Now, keep in mind with the 3DS, you can actually use a regular SD card that you could find in, once again, digital cameras and etc. If they make the switch to first-party memory cards, this could be a big turnoff. Same rules apply for accessories. If you're on the go and you want to charge the Switch, do you have to have the dock with you in order to charge it? Is that the only way you could charge it? Or does it use a certain type of charger? Does it use micro USB? Does it use USB? Does it have its own special port? If they do use their own special kind of port, does that limit the type of ports we can buy, or do we have to buy specific Nintendo official ports? I really do hope that they don't make it that you have to use the dock in order to charge it, or that you have to have specific chargers in order to charge the Switch. I really do hope that they make it that it's just regular USB or the same type of charger that the Android phones use. Because honestly, I don't want to have to carry extra wires around just to charge it, nor do I want to have extra wires laying around the house in case if I want to charge it while it's not docked. Now, the last concern that I have with this, and this is a big one, is this really what we're getting? Like, no offense, I'm not trying to be a Debbie Downer when I say this or trying to find reasons to poke holes at Nintendo, but we've kind of dealt with this with No Man's Sky. They showed us these amazing trailers, they showed us this, they showed us that, but then we get the game and it's not even close to what it really is supposed to be. I'm just really hoping that when launch comes, they go just as strong as they went with this reveal. And not only that, but I hope they stay consistent, because right now they have a machine that can potentially not only get them back in the market or in the console war again, but can actually change the way the market is seen. All of us have noticed it, whether we want to agree or not, but one thing that's really starting to happen in the market is there's become this big shift from console gaming, even PC gaming, to the mobile market. All these developers want to start developing for mobile. A lot of SDKs now have the ability to make games for mobile. Even the games that you see on the mobile market itself rival some of the stuff that you've seen on PC. And it's just like the fact that they made a console that you could play on the go or dock or whatever, that is pretty game changing. And I can understand why they didn't want Sony or Microsoft to see this. But also at the same time, this wasn't something that was super revolutionary. I mean, what was the console that does this already? NeoGeo. It wasn't the same exact thing, but basically they made a anniversary edition console. You look this up if you want to. If I remember correctly, you might be able to find this on Ashens channel. I'll leave a link in the description so you can check this out yourself. But basically, it was a handheld console that played NeoGeo games, and then it came with like a console dock that you would open the console up and plug the portable device in, and you'd be able to play on your TV. This wasn't new, and this wasn't something that they had to definitely keep away from Sony and Microsoft because they would have stolen it. They wouldn't have. Sony is the only real, in my opinion, the only real competitor that you have against you in terms of portable to console market, since they have the PS Vita. But they're not that focused on it over here in the West. Now, Microsoft is the only one who hasn't made a portable console, and I'm still kind of waiting for them to do that. They actually said that they've tried numerous times, but I do get the feeling that now that the Switch has been shown, they will attempt to do this, or just make a lot of mobile games like to play on your phone. But in all honesty, if they choose not to really go after this kind of market, they're not really at a loss. I mean, they have PC and they have console, so going for this would just be icing on the cake for them, really. All in all, this is how I feel about the NX. It has potential, but really all we can wait for is March to see where it really goes. I want more answers, and I want them to have a strong launch. Like, I may have said that I wanted the console to fail, but it was just mostly because of all the hype that was surrounding it. I was getting a little pissed off, and personally, I'm not a big fan for jumping on hype. It kind of annoys me. But to see them actually show something like this, if they can really back it, that would be awesome, because as you've seen from that reveal trailer, it shows that Nintendo has learned and they've taken notes, you know, like the Wii U. Oh my God, that was, that was awful. And the fact that the Wii was selling back then, I still don't understand how, but they've seen that they needed to make some adjustments. They got rid of the stupid gimmicks. They stopped trying to basically make consoles, and they realized that their strength is portable. Don't kill off the DS, please. I'm really hoping that this does not kill off the DS, but they've kind of tried to blend the two together. And not only that, they're looking to do more third-party support, something that the Nintendo consoles really needed. Now, if they could bring that, and they can bring true backwards compatibility to this system, that would just really knock it out of the park. And what I mean by true backwards compatibility would be being able to play Nintendo, Super Nintendo, N64, and so forth, all the way up. And yes, I know there's the virtual console shop or whatever, but I'm talking about just bringing back the entire library. The DS from time to time kept missing the ability to play Game Boy Advance. Sometimes it missed the ability to play Game Boy games and so forth. Like, it was just really, really messy. Just bring it back. Just bring it all back and just come back strong. This has the potential to make the market bend to its knees. So let's just hope that Nintendo does that. But if you agree with what I had to say, or you like what I had to say, leave a like. 1 like equals 1 NX. Let's hope for 10 NXs. And if you don't agree with me, or you didn't like what you had to hear, leave a dislike. I've been getting a lot of messages from people on many other platforms, you know, I'm changing my content, this and that, but hey, I have to do what I like. If I don't do what I like, why the fuck am I doing it? Hence why I left Cosmic Break, hence why I left the EPB. I just didn't like it anymore. If you don't like it, tough. And the people that I'm talking to, they know who they are. And if you haven't figured it out, let's lay it in layman's terms. Stop fucking messaging me about it. I'm not going back to those games unless, like, I just have the urge to want to go back to it. But they've given me plenty of reasons not to. But to the rest of you, thank you for sticking around. If you haven't subscribed, be sure to subscribe. I'll hit you with more gaming news, more things about the obvious that people aren't bringing to light, and whatnot. But most importantly, be safe, have fun, dive into imagination. Catch you guys later.